Yay! What? Good morning. My kitty decided that her wanted some love, so she embraced our presence today. So today is a birthday vlog. It's Wednesday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and my daughter is sick today. So her staying home, and Mama is going to try to clean the living room and take out trash. I told her because she is sick, she cannot go outside and play, and she has to stay inside. Which let me know that she didn't even argue with that. So, yeah, I think she's not feeling well. She's been coughing off and on all night. This morning, I gave her some cough medicine. Sent her to her little mattress, and she is watching her videos, and she's singing. Even when she's not feeling well, she is still smiling and singing. So last night I spent most of the night on here doing a video, and y'all got to see me clean some, and we talked. So I thought I'd come on here and just do a live vlog. Would have been friendly, baby. Yes, you are. So, I have, like I said, I just got done folding more clothes. I just got to put them up.
Mama!
What, baby?
Look at you stand on the TV.
Am I on the TV? She's like, Mama, you're on the TV. My YouTube is connected to my to this YouTube here, so she's like, Mom, you're on the TV. So yeah, that's basically what's going on, other than I gotta clean this living room. I was hoping to do it today while she was at school, but that didn't work. Did it? Because our Mo is not feeling well. Sorry if I'm moving this around. Oh, my nose itches. But yeah, she's home for the day. Gonna miss out on fun day. Today she would get to wear her hat to school. Picked out her outfit to wear and socks, and I knew she wasn't going to feel well because it rained a couple days ago, and it's been cold in the morning, and so I kind of figured she'd get not feeling well. It's so funny. So, I really gotta find my brush and brush my hair, and I don't know if I'm gonna put makeup on or not, I was planning on getting the other pack of cigarettes, but since Munchkin is not well, I guess I wait. We might go later on today, like at 3, to do that. Oh, where's my gosh? Oh, that's just that. What can I do? What can I talk about? So much. Oh, a little tidbit. If you want to know your son number, you add the month you were born and the day you were born, and then you add that number, and then you get that number, and then that is your son number. So I am a 1. And ones are all about beginnings and all that kind of lovely stuff. Who's your McGiddy? Oh, I'm trying to get comfortable here. So, I guess what we can do is do, let me move this closer to me. Oracle of the day. And see what today is going to bring. Let's see. I am again using my favorite deck, or my 2 favorite Oracle decks. I have still the Kuan Yin affirmation up. I need to probably switch that out before I do that on here. What goddess has a message for me today? We have 2 cards. So the Badass, which is the archetype, is the second card that flew up. And Izumi, I think is how you pronounce it. Is the first card. So, let's check those out. Yuzumi. Here we are. Yuzumi. Keyword here is joy. Symbols are the flowers, ash, Japanese dancing fans, mirrors. Affirmation is joy finds me every day. Meet the goddess. Yuzumi is the Shinto goddess of joy and dance. She is also connected to the themes of kinship, longevity, and wisdom. Many sacred dances are performed to honor Yuzumi. It was with her dancing fans, joyful laughter, and dance that was enticed the sun goddess Amatsu out of hiding to return sunlight to the world. All acts of kindness are said to be connected to Yuzumi. This goddess is a reminder to share our joy and light with the world, dance without a care, and laugh with our whole bodies, as joy is infectious. She brings long and happy lives to those who follow her. Definition meaning, Yuzumi brings you the gift of joy and waits for you to open it. There is much joy to be had in life. We are open to the possibilities. It's time to be happy and to engage in the wondrous joy that is available to you. But shifting your perspectives and energy to things that you can be grateful for and things you can enjoy right now, you are starting the process of welcoming joy into your life. Joy is something that you can feel in your heart and your body. Permit yourself to do some of the things that you know brings you joy. Make the time, schedule it in, and encourage the people in your life to help you make it happen. Work with Yuzumi. Take dance lessons or have an impromptu dance party with an upbeat song. Laugh. Watch some comedy. Do laughing yoga or make a baby laugh. Practice gratitude for all the joy you've experienced. Very good thing we have to remember if we want beautiful things to happen in our life. We have to take that time to be grateful for what we have and to enjoy the lighter side of life. Life is not always about, hey baby, about the darker side, about being so serious at work, being a workaholic, just being caught up in the hustle and bustle of things and not having that time to do fun things, to enjoy life, to not take time. I always say this, and I got it from Jada Pinkett Smith. She said, mothers are the heart of the family. We are always, what do I got? What does my kids need? What does my husband need? What do I got to do? This and this and that. And we so often forget to take time for us. We don't say, okay, what do I need today? And by doing that, we become unhappy and we become miserable. And then the household or the home, which is our hearth and heart, suffers because of it. And we lose ourselves. So we got to remember, not only as women, but as mothers and wives, and to take time for us. And it's not selfish. By far, it is not selfish to say, okay, I got to take time for myself. What do I want to do? It can be the simplest things as pulling a card of the day, writing in your journal, dancing, something that brings you joy is so important. And there looks a little bit better at least. So, oh boy, the doghouse is gone. What's going on? This is kind of like my time for me. I love to share my journey with the Oracle or with the Tarot or with, my craft, learning about a different goddess every day. I've always been a person to read out loud. And when I get on YouTube, or if I get on Facebook, or if I can get on Instagram and I read it, then it's that brings me joy, because everybody's learning about a different goddess, and I'm getting to read, which is something I love to do. Just like I love to write, but I haven't been able to write. So this is usually my me time. But Little Miss Mo, short for Morgana, is not well today. So she's having to share in my peace and quiet today, and I'm not going to have that peace and quiet on my birthday. So this one is all about joy. We have to find joy. We have to find the lighter side of life. Everything can't always be so serious and so just stoic. You gotta smile. You gotta laugh. You gotta liven up. Have fun. Basically, the badass. Here we go. Okay, get through the tractor. Here, the berry. Right here. That's badass. Okay, so she is an archetype. Do you want to see the other tractor too? That one looks like athletes. Oh yeah, look. Ooh, authority. Symbols are the sunflowers, roses, and thrones. Affirmation is my body, my time, my choice. So again, I can already see that this is about spending time with you. Maybe this badass was not what you thought a badass would be. But that is where her divine feminine archetype shines. While authority can mean many things, our badass is an authority in how she chooses to live her life. She has worked hard to feel comfortable in her skin, how she expresses herself, and a grounded from her own wise experience. This allows her to live loud and proud, set her own standards without worrying about what others think, and look within when making decisions. Divination is this. Being the authority in your own life can be extremely rewarding. The badass has arrived in your reading as a declaration that it is time to step into your power. You are more than capable of taking charge of your life's directions and the choices you make for yourself. It's time to stand tall and be comfortable. Let's see here. Be comfortable with who you are. Allow yourself to be heard. Allow yourself to be seen, loved, and valued. You may have been taking the back seat and letting others make choices for you or take all the credit for your hard work. No longer. You are a badass and deserve the benefits of the efforts. Work with the badass. Own it. Make a list of all the achievements you are proud of. Be the positive change by leading by example. Empower the people around you to step into their own power and authority. Very good, very good. Very good.
Are we done with these flags? Okay.
So, it's all about really having that balance. Having fun and being your own, as it would say, badass. Very good, very good.
Ginormous tire.
So, I want to put these in here for now. If they will go. Yesterday they wouldn't, so. I was like, okay, you've been lovely today. Thank you. So now we have our spirit animal for message for today. What guidance does the spirit animals have for us today on May 5th?
Yes! Mom, will you go find some shovels in there? Shovels? You have tractors. You find a rock. Oh. House! Whoa!
I'm gonna go from
Gonna find some diamonds?
again.
Oh, that's a big rock. Now we're gonna get some dirt and put it on you.
Here, I can dump it up there. Ready? Shh.
Trust the great mystery. For whale spirit.
Ew. A sand castle?
It's actually a dirt castle,
What? Your castle crumbled. Oh, Nico.
And be at home.
What?
The wombat
Where are you
spirit.
going? Oh, boy. You got an idea.
So,
Cover your flash.
trust in the great mystery.
Water the dirt? Then it becomes mud. Pour concrete?
Number 65,
Oh!
number 68. So we have sixes today.
Ooh, I like that. Careful, you jumped that far? Oh, good job. It's still some dirt. Ooh.
The Well Spirit. Trust the great mystery. Oracle message is this. The Well Spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet. In the hidden realms where all things must gather first before manifesting into form, the Well Spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world with the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When Well Spirit appears, it is a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand it. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart, through intuition, and through the peripheral sense that part the invisible veil separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by angels.
Oh, okay. I'll get more special ingredients. Special ingredients already?
Very good.
Oh, good job.
Be at home. Burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well-fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available in your if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Wombat Spirit reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all your experiences without judgment, through a deep honesty and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life, with your family and tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up the coat of your identity and settle in the true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. What a wonderful message that spirit animals had for us. It's all about trusting and being one with oneself and being at home. It's not just about your physical aspects, of a roof over your head or anything like that, but it's all about being comfortable in your own skin, being able to be your authentic self, and to just embrace it. That is when we truly become at home with ourselves. Is when we can accept every little thing that has happened in our life without judging, because we are very judgmental we're our own worst enemy. Trust me, because there's been times I have just thought, I've been so judgmental on myself. It's so hard. And it's like, it just brings me down. Instead of just accepting the choices that I have done, accepting the decisions that I have made without judgment. If I had just done that and not kicked myself in the butt about it, I think I would have felt more at peace with myself. Most definitely. I mean, there are times that I have truly wish I had listened to that inner voice, listened to that little nonsense that kept on, and that feeling of my intuition, and then not listening to it, kicking myself in the butt about it, bringing myself down, thinking, oh, I should have just not listened to anybody else and just listened to myself, listened to my intuition, what it was telling me. Boogie butt. Wild hair. And just, but I really should have just accepted it, and then, like when you meditate, then let it pass, instead of just waddling over how stupid I was to make that decision to go to Las Vegas or to do this. I'm not listening to my, I am like so worst at it. My intuition, that feeling is so strong with me, and it's like, and that day that I was going to the plane, I felt just this overwhelming feeling that I was making the wrong choice, and instead I listened to my friend, and she goes, no, this will be a good da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, all right, whatever you say. And I really should have. What you got there, Bigaboo?
Maybe this is our last. This has been a long video. And Audie. Audie is short for obstacle course. There's a prison escape, Audie. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, let's make an escape.
I want my clothes back, though.
Get out of your clothes. Oh, well, maybe they'll show up.
So, yes, very good message from Spirit. Be at home with yourself. Be at peace. Be your own. Come home to your authenticity. Accept the decisions and choices that you have made in the past without judgment, and be happy. Be happy again. It goes right back to joy, right back to Uzumi and whatnot, and then just enjoy life. Home is where the heart is.
Good job.
So,
Oh, yeah. Alright, through the tunnel. We're escaping. Cool. There's a green thing, don't fall in the water. Alright.
let's talk about goddesses.
Good job, girl. Good job. That's how I felt. Ew, sewers. I'll make for you. Okay, where do we go? Sewer.
No, you don't. There we go.
Crazy.
All right. So,
Level 2, the fence. Uh-oh. Thinking we don't touch the red. How are you so fast?
I do believe, have passed Rihanna.
Especially
Well, I know in my other group, I have.
I didn't get past this part.
Teamwork?
Okay, I got it. Okay, what do we do?
Okay, so we are here.
Cool, and then we go over here. Touch the green. Nice. Lasers. Okay, what do we do? Whoa.
I'm just going to use these to mark because I don't know where my other ones went.
Next one. Go under. They're over our head.
They're
Okay,
here
go.
somewhere.
Ah!
I use pink to
Oh, I see your mom. No,
mark her away. I need to get some more. I was looking at them. No.
Oh, good job. Go. Go.
On Amazon. All right. I gotta get over here. My legs are hurting. So, it says the Welsh goddess Caradwyn's name has been translated in various ways. Fair and loved, perfect love, crooked woman, Fortress of Wisdom, White Song. Some Welsh sources give her name as Credwin, incorporating an Archaic word that can mean heat, anger, bravery, or fighting. She has been regarded as a figure both beautiful and frightening, a goddess of the earth, harvest of magic, wisdom, poetry, and inspiration, of death and rebirth, of initiation and transformation. Here is her story. Caradwyn lived with her husband, Tieg of the Bald, at the Lake of Tanaige in North Wales. They had 2 children. Their daughter, Caradwyn, meaning light, beautiful, or lively treasure, came to be known as one of the 3 fair maidens of the island of British Britain. And Morfran, Great Raven, their son, was said to have been so ugly that he was called a Fagdu. Utter darkness. Not a good name. He was covered with coarse hair so that people thought he looked like a stag or a demon. Because of Morfran's appearance, Caradwyn worried that he would have great difficulty making his way in the world and taking his proper place among the noble warriors of Britain. She decided to use her knowledge and her arts to create a potion that would give him wisdom and the spirit of prophecy. At the proper days and at the proper times, she gathered all the necessary herbs and put them into a cauldron of water. The potion had been boiled for a year and a day. During this time, Caradwyn kept busy, continually gathering and adding more herbs, as well as pouring in fresh water. She had an old blind man and a lad named Gwenwyn batch little Rowan to feed the fire under the cauldron to stir the brew. At the end of the year and the day, Caradwyn positioned Morfran beside the cauldron to await the 3 precious drops of potion that were due to spring forth. They would contain all the concentrated virtue of the herbs, and whoever they landed on would receive the gifts of wisdom and prophecy. At the last moment, however, Godwin Botch showed Morfran out of the way and received the 3 drops instead. The cauldron itself cried out at this and shattered. Godwin fled with Caradwyn in hot pursuit. Gwelwyn turned himself into a hare that he might run faster, but Caradwyn became a greyhound coming to a stream. Godwyn took form of a fish. Caradwyn pursued him as an otter. Gwelwyn took to the air as a bird, and Caradwyn turned herself into a hawk. At last, Godwyn changed into a single grain of wheat, concealed in a pile of grain upon a threshing floor. Then Caradwyn became a great black hen. She scratched and pecked at all the wheat until she found the transformed Godwyn, who she swallowed down. The seed grew into Caradwyn's womb, and 9 months later she gave birth to a baby boy. She did not want to raise him, but he was so beautiful that she could not bear to destroy him. So she put him into a little corporal or hide-covered basket boat and sent him adrift on the waters. Soon he would be found and begin a new life. Taliesin, the arch-poet of Britain, about whom we will have more to say in chapter 21. Transformation and inspiration. There is a great deal of magic in this tale, and many people see Caradwyn as the typical witch, a crone knowledgeable in acorn secrets, brewing mysterious potions in her cauldron. According to Patrick K. Ford's 1997 translation of the Tale of Anwen Bach, she was a magician and learned in the three arts: magic, enchantment, and divination. The Scottish harper, storyteller, and bardic scholar Robin Williamson prefers to call Caradwyn a woman of power. While Caradwyn can certainly be regarded as a powerful witch, the story clearly portrays her as a mother, not as a crone or a hag. She is a mature woman, perhaps, but not yet out of her childbearing years. On the other hand, one of the poem's attributes to Taliesin, the casualties of the bard refer to Caradwyn as a smiling black old hag. The Welsh word usually translated hag when referring to Caradwyn as Roth, which also means witch, magician, diviner, and enchantress, as well as ugly old woman. So is Caradwyn a mother or a crone? She can be both. As a goddess of, among other things, birth and death, it is possible for her to take either role as circumstances require, and this goddess too is a shapeshifter. Shapeshifting is common in Celtic mythology. The transformations in the tale of Caradwyn and Bowen Bach carry the protagonist on a journey through the elements of earth: greyhound and hare, water otter and fish, and air hawk and bird. Then woman becomes a seed, the essential concentration of life force holding the potential of all that one may become. In Caradwyn, she is now the devourer, a death force counterposed to the life force in the seed. As the poem The Hostile Confederacy says in John Matthews' translation, speaking in Taliesin's voice, the harvester took me, took free of my essence. Death, of course, is transformation. A dead seed can be buried in the earth where it receives the nurture it needs to germinate, to open and release the life of a new plant. In the same way, by devouring Anwen Bach, Caradwyn began the process of preparing him for rebirth into a new life. She is the earth that both buries and nurtures the seeds. She is also the crucible where the old is broken down and remade into a new. This image of the crucible brings us back to Caradwyn's cauldron, one of many magical cauldrons in Celtic lore. Two other prominent in the Welsh traditions are the cauldron of Anwen and the cauldron of rebirth. The first of these is described in the poem The Spoils of Anwen. As pale rimmed and warmed by the breath of 9 maidens, it would not boil meat for a coward or for one forsworn, as one of who had broken his or her word. The cauldron of rebirth plays a central role in the second branch of the mahogany. Its powers is that a dead warrior placed beneath it will be able to rise up, ready to fight again, but without the power of speech. Notice how speech and the power of the word are connected with both these cauldrons. Caradwyn's cauldron is a cauldron of inspiration. The Welsh term used for inspiration is especially poetic, and inspiration in relation to the cauldron is Anwen. Many medieval Welsh poets made statements in their works along the lines of "I receive Alwyn from the cauldron of Caradwyn." Sometimes Alwyn is translated as muse, but this does not adequately convey the nature of Alwyn, the power of inspired speech. This otherworld gift is bestowed on humans in often unexpected fashions, and its demands are great. A person who truly receives the almond will never be the same. He or she will be pursued by Caradwyn, who insists that we embrace our divine essence and give it voice. The Great Soul. Although with her other aspects, Caradwyn has sometimes been called a sow goddess, specifically the Great Sow, who eats her young. Documentation for this view is not as abundant as one might like, but the connection is worth examining. Looking first at actual animal behavior, it can be noted that mother pigs are known to be quite fierce, even deadly. Turning to mythology and many European religious traditions, sows are animals closely associated with the earth and with the underworld. Celtic lore contains numerous references to pork as the meat eaten at otherworld feasts, and often cooked by the way in a cauldron. Continuing this underworld or otherworld theme, in the fourth branch of the mahogany, domestic pigs are said to be the gifts from Almond. The surviving Welsh lore tells of two sows of particular significance. One described a triad 26, three powerful swineherds of the island of Britain. And Henwen, Old White, huge and furious and she roamed through Cornwall and Wales while pregnant. In one part of South Wales, she gave birth to a grain, a wheat, and a bee, making that region ever afterward famous for its wheat and honey. She gave birth to a grain of barley in another area, which from then on was the best place for growing barley. In the mountains of the North Wales, she became the mother of a wolf, an eagle, and a monstrous cat. The eagle and wolf were given to two noblemen, and they were both the worst for them. While the cat was thrown into the sea, swam to Anglesey, and went on according to a fragment of poetry. To kill 90 fierce warriors. Henwen we see an agent of abundance and danger, creation and destruction. The other notable sows appear in the fourth branch. Lula, giraffe, terribly injured, has transformed into what? I thought you wasn't feeling well.
I gotta fix. Oh, I'm gonna cook it in the
Where's that?
Uh-huh. You know you're going to school tomorrow, right?
Orange juice, sharp
You're
together.
close to buying my coffee. You spill it and I'm spilling your butt. Go sit and watch your show. We're not playing this. You're supposed to be sick. Take the blanket back over there. We're not making messes.
Why is it taking forever to cook? I need to heat it up.
Okay, here's the
Cook,
soup.
cook,
It's ready for the finish. Okay.
Oh, right.
Is it still alive? Chef, you're still. Oh no!
Let's see here. The other notable cell occurs in the fourth branch. The law, whatever that word is, terrible injured, has transformed into an eagle and flown away. His foster father,
It's okay.
Gwendon, has been searching for him without any luck until he stays the night in a person's house.
All right.
There he learns that
Freshly squeezed oranges.
Can you squeeze some oranges?
Okay.
the family has a sow who goes out every morning, returning only at night to nurse her piglets. Gondwyn follows her, and she leads him to a great oak tree. At its foot, she feeds not one acorn, as normal pigs do, but on the rotting flesh of a Llewellyn, still an eagle, he is perched in the oak's topmost branches. Gwendon then utters a spontaneous, inspired poem to call Llewellyn to him and return him to human form. For more about Llewellyn and Gondwyn, see chapter 16 and 19. With these two sows, we do indeed see some of the characteristics of Ceridwen. There are the associations with grain, poetry, birth, death, and transformation. Can we say that Henwyn and the sow in the fourth branch are Ceridwen? That may be a matter for further study and meditation, but it is probably not going too far to regard these sows as expressions, at least in part, of Ceridwen's energies at work. Ceridwen at the holy days. Through her association with grain, and specifically its threshing, Ceridwen can be connected with the autumn harvest. Her possible relationship to pigs also points to this time of year, for in much of the Western Europe, pigs were herded into the woods in October to eat acorns and beech nuts. This leads us to consider Ceridwen as a goddess of Novskaliship, or eve of the first day of winter. Halloween, or Samhain, consider the final harvest and the beginning of the dark half of the year. Some Wiccan traditions regard Imbolc, February 1st, as the day dedicated to initiation, commemorating the initiation of the young god, and or conducting rituals of initiation or dedication for group members. In either case, Ceridwen may be looked to as the presiding deity of the day. One of the ways of understanding her pursuit and devouring a Gwyn botch is a mythologized version of the training and initiation rituals undergone by Welsh bards, poet singers. Moreover, the word Imbolc can be interpreted to mean in the belly or in the womb, Not only does Gonwan Bodge complete his transformation in Caradwan's womb, but her cauldron itself is a type of womb. In Wales, and Bog is usually called Welfaria, the feast of Mary of the Candles, or by similar names related to Mary, but sometimes Bridget, Herod, and Welsh. Some customs in North Wales for this day record during the 18th and 19th centuries honor Mary and her child, at least on the surface, but might also be seen as carrying forward threads of old traditions. Groups of singers that go door to door to engage the poetic contest with the residents of the houses. Often the singers and the people of the house drink wassail together from a bowl with lit candles around its rim. It is difficult not to be reminded of Caradwan's cauldron. Every day with Caradwan. Caradwan is a goddess who expects a great deal from us. She pushes us to be our best and forces us to strip away all the obscures our true nature. But as Caradwan's pursuit of Gonwan Bodge shows, reaching one's truest, most magically and God-aware self can be an uncomfortable and even frightening process. Inviting Caradwan's energies into one's life is not a step to be taken lightly. On the other hand, sometimes this is the step we need to take. And if we don't, our life circumstances will probably give us a push, or more than one, down the path. Know thyself has long been a motto of many mystery religions, and it certainly applies to Caradwan's lessons. An exercise should be used at the beginning of many systems of magical training. It's commonly called the black and white mirror, and it would make an appropriate first step in working with the energies of Caradwan, who is the mother of both light and darkness. The exercise has several variations. Here's one. Get a small notebook that you can carry with you wherever you go, and use it for nothing but this exercise. For 1 week, write down all of your negative qualities. Every characteristic or tendency that you can think of that keeps you from being the best person you could be. For the next week, think over those qualities and rate them on a scale of 1 to 3, depending on how much they impact you. For example, if you lose your temper frequently, you might rate anger as a 3. If you tell a little white lie once in a while, you'd probably rate dishonesty as a 1. These 2 weeks can be extremely uncomfortable, but the next 2 weeks are actually harder for many people. Now you will spend a week listing all your positive qualities, the things you like about yourself. The next week, of course, you will rate them. Finally, take a week or 2, but no more, to look at the patterns in your qualities. Analyze them according to the elements through which Caradwan pursued Gonwan Bodge. Earth, the body, the 5 seasons, physical needs, water, emotion, and air, the mind, intellect, ideas. If you prefer working with a 4-element system, you can add fire, which stands primarily for the will. At the end of this exercise, you will know yourself much better, and will see where you have imbalances that you can work on remedying. You will also see that your faults and your strengths are often 2 sides of the same coin. For example, stubbornness and persistence are basically the same quality. differing mainly in how it is applied
Alright,
in life situations.
got holes.
By the way, there are no right answers in the exercise, but only individual answers. Looking again at the previous example, for one person, stubbornness may be an earthy quality, but for another, it may relate more to fire. Your own understanding of yourself is what is important here, and the willingness to grow. For that reason, may people like to repeat this exercise once a year.
There's 2 girls and 2 boys.
Working to transform yourself into the best conduit of the divine spirit that you can be is probably the most important way to show devotion to Cara Dwyn. But you can also honor her as a smaller scale. In one of the poems attribute to Taliesin, titled Defense of the Chair, with John and Matthews, the poet speaks of offering Cara Dwyn milk, dew, and acorns. You might need to substitute spring water for the dew. Mo, be quiet. As you can see, I don't think my little girl is as sick as she thought she was going to be. But it is going to be a long day for her because she don't get to play at all. She is supposed to be at home sick, and so therefore she is going to be treated like she is sick. All right. You might need to substitute spring water for the dew. But otherwise, this is an offering that anyone can make. Candles or altar decorations for her can be in black, red, and white. A small cauldron with a candle, and it makes an excellent focus for beginning to meditate on the mysteries of Cara Dwyn. But if you do nothing else for Cara Dwyn, cultivate your enjoyment of poetry, recite it, read it out loud, or sing it. And if the almond comes to you, let your own poetry and song flow. That is it of Cara Dwyn. Oh. Again, we see a lot of duality in the Celtic deities, both light and dark, which speaks to me as I always say, you can't have one without the other. Life, death, rebirth, dark, light, yin and yang.
That's okay. We can do it. We can do it. Here we go.
You name it. Oh, I'm so tired because I woke up at 6 o'clock. Thinking I was going to have my birthday to myself, but I guess not.
So let's practice. You put 1 arm in.
I was going to go and get me a pack of cigarettes, come back here, have some peace and quiet. But you know, it's okay. Because my little itty bitty thing thinks that she's going to get away with what she did, and it's not the case at all for that one. I know she did have a little bit of a cough, so and it was really a harsh cough.
It's a dog treat.
What's your final guess?
It's not a waffle because it's warm.
Hard spaghetti.
No.
Ooh.
Yes. It's so
Oh my word. Oh, my God. Get off.
Hey, oyster, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here.
Whatever part of the
But, this up. That was
Well, that was the shop. So,
not look good.
going to get off of here.
We can do it.
And
Okay, ready? Oh, you did one? Okay.
A box with tape.
Oh, it's no.
A scratch box.
just be me. Try to enjoy the day. Have a little bit of breakfast. I don't think I got anything for breakfast. And I will talk to y'all later.
Sour
Thanks.
apples. Okay, no looking. Put your hands in.